Ladies and gentlemen, seekers of truth and wisdom, let us pause for a moment, not just to hear, but to truly listen. Leadership is not about control, it is a dance between strength and adaptability. The notion that leadership is a forceful act of dominance has long shaped the way we perceive power, authority, and success. Yet, true leadership is not about rigid control over people or circumstances. It is about understanding the flow of energy, the constant movement between decisiveness and flexibility, assertion and receptivity. It is not about choosing one approach over another, but about knowing when to shift, when to lead with strength and when to lead with understanding. Throughout history, leadership has often been associated with traditionally masculine qualities: decisiveness, direction, assertiveness, and control. These traits have been glorified in the narratives of great conquerors, political leaders, and corporate giants. We have been told that to lead is to stand firm, to act with unwavering conviction, to push forward regardless of resistance. And while these qualities are essential in many situations, they are only half of what makes a truly great leader. On the other side of the spectrum lies a different kind of leadership, one rooted in traditionally feminine qualities: intuition, empathy, collaboration, and adaptability. These qualities are often undervalued in competitive environments, dismissed as soft, passive, or secondary to the boldness of command. Yet, if we look closely at the world, we see that the most effective leaders are those who do not reject these qualities but integrate them. They understand that leadership is not just about making decisions, it is about making the right decisions at the right time, about sensing the needs of the people they lead, about creating environments where others can also thrive. Success does not come from dominance alone, it comes from balance. A leader who is only forceful may achieve short-term victories, but they will struggle to inspire loyalty, trust, or sustainable progress. A leader who is only collaborative may create harmony but may lack the strength to make difficult decisions when necessary. The best leaders do not see these as opposing forces, they see them as complementary. They know when to take charge and when to listen, when to assert and when to adapt, when to push forward and when to step back. Consider the natural world. A tree stands strong, its roots firm in the earth, but it bends with the wind to avoid breaking. A river carves through mountains, not through brute force but through persistence and fluidity. Leadership should be the same, strong but flexible, grounded but open to movement. Those who embrace both sides of leadership, who integrate both masculine and feminine energies, are the ones who navigate complexity with grace. They do not cling to one way of leading but shift as the situation demands. This balance is especially crucial in today's world. We live in an era of rapid change, where old models of leadership based on sheer authority are being questioned. In business, politics, and social movements, we see a demand for leaders who can connect, empathize, and inspire as much as they can direct and decide. The challenges we face are climate change, social inequality, technological disruption cannot be solved through force alone. They require leaders who understand the power of collaboration, who can unite people rather than divide them, who can lead not just with their minds but with their hearts. We must move beyond the outdated belief that leadership belongs to one gender or one set of traits. Leadership is not about being masculine or feminine, it is about being whole. It is about understanding that true power comes not from controlling others, but from aligning with the deeper rhythms of life, from knowing when to be the storm and when to be the calm. The greatest leaders in history were not those who embodied only strength or only empathy. They were those who knew when to act with force and when to move with grace, when to stand their ground and when to embrace change. They understood that leadership is not about choosing between two extremes, but about mastering the dance between them. And it is in this dance that true success is found. Leadership reflects the world we create. It is not a fixed concept, but a living, evolving force that mirrors the values, beliefs, and structures of society. For centuries, leadership has been shaped by narrow perspectives, often favoring strength over wisdom, authority over understanding, and dominance over collaboration. But as the world changes, so too must our understanding of what it means to lead. The old models of leadership, built on rigid hierarchies and singular ways of thinking, no longer serve us. The future demands something different: leaders who see beyond division, beyond outdated notions of power, and who embrace leadership as a dynamic, holistic force. For too long, we have seen only one half of the picture. Leadership has been viewed through the lens of control, often associated with traditionally masculine traits of decisiveness, assertiveness, and ambition. These qualities are valuable, but when they are the sole measure of leadership, we create an imbalance. We ignore the equally vital qualities of emotional intelligence, adaptability, and deep listening, are traits often linked to the feminine. The result is a world where leadership is measured by how loudly one speaks, rather than how deeply one understands. But true leadership is not about fitting into a predefined mold. It is about transcending limitation and embracing the full spectrum of human potential. True leadership is not defined by gender but by the ability to blend wisdom, courage, and empathy. The most effective leaders throughout history have been those who possess not just intelligence, but insight; not just confidence, but compassion. Wisdom allows a leader to see beyond immediate challenges and understand the bigger picture. It provides the patience to listen, the humility to learn, and the foresight to make decisions that benefit not just the present, but the future. Courage is what allows leaders to take risks, to challenge injustice, and to stand firm in the face of opposition. But courage without wisdom can be reckless, and wisdom without courage can be ineffective. Empathy, then, is what ties it all together. It allows a leader to connect with others, to build trust, to understand the needs of the people they serve. Without empathy, leadership becomes hollow, an exercise in authority rather than a force for true transformation. The future belongs to those who lead as whole beings, not as mere roles. We have long been conditioned to believe that leadership is about wearing a title, holding a position, or projecting a certain image. But the leaders who truly make an impact are not those who seek power for its own sake. They are those who embrace the full depth of their humanity, who lead not just with their minds, but with their hearts and spirits. They are those who do not conform to outdated expectations but redefine leadership through their actions. They are those who know that true strength is not in overpowering others, but in lifting them up. As we look ahead, the world does not need leaders who simply follow the scripts of the past. It needs those who are willing to question, too. Leadership is not a role to be played but a reflection of who we are at our core. The world no longer needs leaders who cling to outdated notions of power, nor those who lead with only half of their potential. It needs those who embody both wisdom and strength, both courage and empathy, leaders who transcend limitations and embrace the fullness of their humanity. The future will not be shaped by rigid authority or blind ambition, but by those who understand that true leadership is not about control. It is about connection, vision, and the ability to inspire real change. When we move beyond the idea of leadership as a title and embrace it as a way of being, we do not just create better leaders, so we create a better world. The leaders of the future will not be defined by gender. They will be defined by their ability to embrace the full spectrum of what it means to lead, not as a man, not as a woman, but as a human. And that, my friends, is where real success begins.